Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin wa ajil farajahum. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to this episode of Steps to Perfection, the program where we improve our Quranic recitation and also improve our Quranic understanding. As usual, we will have a Quran recitation now, followed by some tips and advice, and followed by the recitation of the brothers, and we will try to give them feedback. We have to remember Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And it is unfair not to remember Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was martyred in this month. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the opportunity to visit the blessed shrine of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and also to grant us the opportunity of his intercession on the Day of Judgment, inshallah. We will begin with our Quran recitation, and we will recite from the beginning of the 27th juz, and that is Surah Al-Dhariyat, ayah number 31. Surah Al-Dhariyat, ayah number 31. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال فما خطبكم أيها المرسلون. قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمين لنرسل عليهم حجارة من طين مسومة عند ربك للمسرفين فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين فما وجدنا فيها غير بيت من المسلمين وتركنا فيها آية للذين يخافون العذاب الأليم وفي موسى إذ أرسلناه إلى فرعون بسلطان مبين فتولى بركنه وقال ساحر أو مجنون فأخذناه وجنوده فنبذناهم في اليم وهو مليم وفي عاد إذ أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم ما تذر من شيء أتت إلا جعلته كالرميم ما تذر من شيء أتت عليه إلا جعلته كالرميم وفي ثمود إذ قيل لهم تمتعوا حتى حين فعتوا عن أمر ربهم فأخذتهم الصاعقة وهم ينظرون فما استطاعوا من قيام وما كانوا منتصرين وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين والسماء بنيناها بأيد وإنا لموسعون والأرض فرشناها فنعم الماهدون ومن كل شيء خلقنا زوجين لعلكم تذكرون ففروا إلى الله إني لكم منه نذير مبين ولا تجعلوا مع الله إلها آخر إني لكم منه نذير مبين صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الأمين وصدق بذلك مولانا أمير المؤمنين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. We mentioned in the previous nights that one of the ways to improve our understanding of the Holy Quran is that we begin to consider learning about the different sciences of the Holy Quran. Each one of those sciences takes a topic or an area related to the Holy Quran and goes deeper and delves into the depths of that topic and that science. So for an ordinary individual, you don't need to be an expert in all of those sciences, but it would be good to learn at least the basics or a basic understanding of those sciences. And we said that probably one of the most fundamental science which developed throughout time with the guidance and support of Ahlul Bayt was ilm tafsir al-Quran, the elaboration, the interpretation, and the explanation of the ayat. And that, we said, a science that relies on many other sciences. Ilm tafsir al-Quran. Why? Because that is the objective behind the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true meaning of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the relevance, the context of those ayat and the words of the Almighty must be understood so that we can understand in what context, under what circumstances, why, where, how, and what to be done about these ayat and the concepts and the principles and the teachings within them. So we mentioned ilm tafsir al-Quran in some explanation and some detail yesterday. Today we are going to talk about ilm ayat al-ahkam. We believe as Muslims that the holy book, the Quran, is not just a source of teaching, but it is also a source of legislation. So it is not a book that you read and you benefit from and that's it. It is definitely a book that you read and benefit from, but it is also a source of legislation. If we compare that to constitutions for governments and states, if we compare that to, of course, with absolute difference, but it just to bring the kind of the idea closer, with the UN charters, with the international charters, with those sources of legislation based on which legal laws, based on which regulations, rules, and rulings are defined and derived from. And equally, this is the case with the Quran. More importantly, this is the case with the Quran. For us, every single ruling in Islam must be driven from the Holy Quran, while either in principle or in fact in details. So in principle we say, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ. Perform salah, pay zakah, and also offer your worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then the Quran gives us the principle of prayers and zakah, and then ahadith and the narrations of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, then give us the explanation and the details. Ayatul Ahkam are the ayat which gives us this legislation. Whether the topic is about war or peace, whether the topic is about economy or society, whether the topic is about jurisprudence and haram and halal, we need to identify those ayat, understand those ayat, link the different ayat together, and derive the rulings from those ayat. That's the second science, which is very fundamental, and that is for our maraji', for those who reach the level of being a marji' in marji'iyya. That is one of the sciences that they must have become an expert in. And anyone who claims that, maybe you need to, rely more on the Quran, well, guess what? For our maraji', the reliance and dependence on Quran is unparalleled. So any conversation on that topic is inaccurate if it suggests that the marji'iyya and the maraji' and the ulama do not rely on the Quran. The Quran is the basis for any rulings or fatwa or opinions or advice that the maraji' provide to their followers and to the Muslim ummah. They need to understand, most importantly, ilm al-tafsir. They need to understand it and may provide some commentary themselves, but they definitely need to understand it. And also they need to understand the ilmu ayat al-ahkam. These are the two sciences, inshallah. In the upcoming nights, we will discuss the other sciences. Now we go to the recitation of the brothers. So who would like to go first? brothers?
I'll go inshallah.
Okay, Ya Allah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كذلك ما أتى الذين من قبلهم من رسول إلا قالوا ساحر أو مجنون أتواصوا به بل هم قوم طاغون فتول عنهم فما أنت بملوم وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين فإن للذين ظلموا ذنوبا مثل ذنوب أصحابهم فلا يستعجلون فويل للذين كفروا من يومهم الذي يوعدون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والطور وكتاب مسطور في رق منشور والبيت المعمور والسقف المرفوع والبحر المسجور إن عذاب ربك لواقع ما له من دافع يوم تمور السماء مورا وتسير الجبال سيرا فويل يومئذ للمكذبين الذين هم في خوض يلعبون يوم يدعون إلى نار جهنم دعا هذه النار التي كنتم بها تكذبون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
صدق الله العلي العظيم. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Beautiful recitation, mashallah. May Allah bless you and protect you, inshallah. Always in the service of the Holy Quran. Very good recitation, very nice pronunciation, very good adherence to the harakat, which is the most important, as I've said repeatedly. Since you are a bit of on your journey to be an expert reciter, I would say two things. One is هذه النار التي كنتم بها تكذبون إخفاء شفوي. This is what it's called, and that is when you have meme sakin followed by ba. Secondly, with your voice, you started with a really high pitch. Give it another page and that's it. You would have really maxed out your voice. Mm-hmm. You need to recognize your voice spectrum and start with a fairly low pitch and build up your voice. So for me, if I want to start كذلك ما أتى الذين من قبل, that's already too high. Where else would I go after that? So what I need to do is, for me, obviously for you it would be different, but you need to think about it. For me, I would be starting كذلك ما أتى الذين من قبلهم من رسول إلا قالوا, and then I gradually build up and go to the higher note and higher pitches. Apart from that, ahsant, beautiful recitation.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Assalamu alaikum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أفسحر هذا أم أنتم لا تبصرون اصلوها فاصبروا أو لا تصبروا سواء عليكم إنما إنما تجزون ما كنتم تعملون إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم فاكهين بما آتاهم ربهم ووقاهم ربهم عذاب الجحيم كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون متكئين على سرر مصفوفة وزوجناهم بحور عين والذين آمنوا واتبعهم ذريتهم بإيمان ألحقنا
واتبعتهم ذريتهم واتبعتهم
ذريتهم بإيمان حق بذرية ألنا عليهم من شيء كل امرئ بما كسب رهين مددناه بفاكهة لحم مما يشتهون يعون فيها لا لغو فيها تأثيم
علي.
وعليهم غل كأن
Okay,
Sorry?
I think the connection is, I'm afraid we can't really hear you clearly. It's so being disrupted. But overall, that's a good recitation, Ahsant. Unfortunately, we've not been able to really hear you out properly because of the connections. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you for that recitation. One thing I would say is just be clearer, be more specific with the harakat. Adab al-jahim, jahim, or adab al-jahim, jahim. بحور عين or بحور عين or بحور عين. Just a tiny bit more with the harakat. Overall, a really, really good recitation, and that is really based in that you have a melody in your head, and that's very good. That melody is there. I can feel it. Just more, like I said before, relax, take your time, and more clarity, more strength in the clarity of your harakat. Ahsant. Ali.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum assalam. Start from the next page, please.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أم تأمرهم أحلامهم بهذا
أحلامهم.
Sorry?
أحلامهم.
Okay. أم تأمرهم أحلامهم بهذا
أحلامهم.
أم تأمرهم أحلامهم بهذا
أحسنت.
قوم طاغون أم يقولون تقوله بل لا يؤمنون فليأتوا بحديث مثله إن كانوا صادقين أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات والأرض بل لا يوقنون أم عندهم خزائن ربك أم هم المسيطرون أم لهم سلم يستمعون فيه فليأت مستمعهم بسلطان مبين أم له البنات ولكم البنون أم تسألهم أجرا فهم من مغرم مثقلون أم عندهم الغيب فهم يكتبون أم يريدون كيدا فالذين كفروا هم المكيدون أم لهم إله غير الله سبحان الله عما يشركون وإن يروا كسفا من السماء ساقطا يقولوا سحاب مركوم فذرهم حتى يلاقوا يومهم الذي فيه يصعقون يوم لا يغني عنهم كيدهم شيئا ولا هم ينصرون وإن للذين ظلموا عذابا دون ذلك ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون واصبر لحكم ربك فإنك بأعيننا وسبح بحمد ربك حين تقوم ومن الليل فسبحه وإدبار النجوم صدق الله العلي العظيم.
صدق الله العلي العظيم. MashaAllah. Very good recitation. Really, really impressive. However you're preparing, you are really doing it well. And as we said before, one of the best ways to prepare is by listening to these ayat with another reciter, somebody like Al-Manshawi or Al-Husari or Ustad Parhizgar, an Iranian reciter, very well established Iranian reciter. Al-Manshawi and Husari, very well established Egyptian reciters. And of course, there are many others, but I would strongly recommend these three individuals. If you really wish to improve your Quran recitation, these are the three that you would listen to as the foundation for your recitation. And it looks like Ali and the brothers are doing that, which is excellent. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, bless your journey in learning more about the Holy Quran and the recitation of the Holy Quran. And always may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place the Quran as a guide for you, the Quran and Ahlul Bayt, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنِّي تَارِكُمْ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ أو الثقلين كتاب الله وعترتي أهل بيتي. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity and the tawfiq and the success to be following these two guides, Quran and the Holy Progeny. Thank you very much, brothers, for your participation. Dear brothers and sisters across the world watching us on Ahlul Bayt TV or later on Shabab al-Sibtain YouTube channel, thank you for being with us. Inshallah, until the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.